What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Best Damn Deck here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be telling you why I believe Gill is the best damn deck in UniVersus. So, what we're going to be talking about today, or let's start over. The point of this video is I want to tell you all the good people, all the many amazing traits of Gill and why you should play this deck at least one point in your UFS or UniVersus career. What we're going to talk about is what it is that this character does, why that thing is good, interesting interactions with the character, overcoming the character's weaknesses, and my final thoughts on the character as a whole. So, Gill, let's jump into him. Gill is a 5-hand size character with 27 life. He has the all life and order symbols. He says response twice per turn. After your opponent plays a card, draw one card. In addition to that, he also says, enhance, this face-up attack gets plus X speed or minus X speed. X equals 5 minus the number of printed keywords on this attack. If this attack speed was increased or decreased by 3 or greater due to this effect, gain 2 life. So, what does Gill do? Gill is a 5-hand size asterisk character that has a little bit of life, fluctuates speed and damage on both players' attacks, and gains vitality due to it. He is possibly one of the lowest 5 health characters in the game. At least in standard that I know of. 27 is nothing. 27, that's Missile Launcher sneezes that. Dark Chirito sneezes that and it's over. There's so little health, but he is deceptively healthy because of his enhance. If you're playing as Gill, 100% of your attacks are going to have 2 or less keywords. So every time that you play an attack, you're gaining 2 life, which is huge, which is better. It's better than minus damage because you can gain life and then block, which netted you a plus 2. We'll say plus 2. In the grand scheme of things, Gill is insane when it comes to throwing thick, speedy, massive attacks, and then taking your crazy fast attacks and reducing them down to nothing. And then in addition to that, he constantly has cards in his hands. Always has cards in his hands. Every time that you, on your turn, play 2 cards, whether it be attacks or foundations or actions or assets, I'm going to draw 2 more cards. If you play an attack, I'll draw a card. Oh, you played a mid? I drew a mid block. You played a low? I drew a low block. That's real convenient. Or let's say that, I'm Gill. I've got my 5 cards. I'm going to play this attack. Oh, did you block? Okay, I'll draw another card. Did you half block? Perfect. I gained 2 life off of this. I drew a card, and you took half damage. Seems like value to me. Why is this good? This is good because Gill affects pretty much the main 2 parts of the game. He affects the speed stat, which damage doesn't matter. Damage has never mattered ever. Speed is what kills people. Damage is damage kills people. Speed's the vehicle. It's like having the world's most unbelievably amazing salsa and no chips. If you don't have the speed to deliver that beautiful, crunchy, crisp salsa to your mouth, then who cares how much damage it is? Who cares? You gotta have solid chips in order to eat salsa. What am I talking about? No, but he affects the speed stat in such a way that all of his attacks get pushed through. All of them. Getting plus 3 speed on every single one of your attacks means that you're smacking them with something. Even if you only throw 2, maybe 3 attacks on a turn, maybe that is your poke. I'll smack you up. Because of the symbol spread that he has access to so many amazing cards. Interesting interactions. We'll just all right, we'll go back to why is it good. I'm sorry. Tyler, put it back. Whenever we take and every time that we play a card, they play a card, we get super value out of it. One of the best plays that can happen against a Gill asterisk is my opponent plays an attack, I'll respond, draw a card, and then they play a bang to bang Gill as their first enhance. I'll respond and I'll draw a card. You played the card. The effect hasn't gone through yet. That's fine. You played the card. It was successful. I'll draw my card. All right, now seal them. Okay, I've already drawn my 2 extra cards. I've now my 7-hand size character. I'm down. I'm super, super down. You keep doing you, man. Yeah, I don't get to -2 or 1 speed, whatever, because your keywords are insane. But, that's fine. I still drew my 2 cards. I still got my extra blocks. Maybe I found a reversal out of this. Whatever. Interesting interactions. So, under the all and life symbol, we get access to all of Ivy's support. And all of Ivy's support has 2 or less keywords because of how her character works. So being able to use all of Gill's support and give +4 speed on everything, and then once they're at deadlock, give an additional 4 damage, giving 4/4 to stuff is no joke, especially when those cards all have amazing text boxes. Giving 3 speed, gain the life, and pushing all that damage through, like, we'll look it up. Like, one of the best options that you have is a card called Wind Embrace. Wind Embrace is a 3 for 6. It says discard the top card of your deck. Your opponent loses 1 vitality. Discard the top card of your deck. Gain 2 vitality. What this means is, also it's a throw, if that matters at all. What this means is I'm going to discard the top card of my deck. You're going to lose 2. I will enhance with Gill, give it 3 speed, so it is a 6 for 6, and then discard the top card of my deck, gain 2. If I was down to 24, I'm back to 27 off of playing 1 attack. Nutso. In addition to that, it's going to burn them for 1 and then hit them for half at least for 3, excuse me. And then it's a 6 high, so they're probably not going to block it actually because it is a throw. So you did 7 damage with this attack on a 5 diff and gained 4 life. This card is value. This card is value. In addition to that, we get to play some really cheeky stuff. So any attack that you thought was like, oh man, this card is kind of okay. I wish I could push my damage through, like a Tengu Dive. Like, Tengu Dive is one of those fairly old cards at this point that is only really good if you have a way to give it speed. Well, Gill gives it 3 speed, gains 2 life. If it hits, you've drawn 3 cards off of the Tengu Dive. It hits and then goes to your momentum. Let's talk about the real meta stuff, the super interesting interactions at time of recording. So there's a card in the game called Spirit Gun that has ranged and safe, and that's it. It is a 5 mid for 6 that says enhance, destroy one of your opponent's foundations. Let's talk about the value on this card. This card says in Gill, it is a 8 mid for 6 that destroys one of your opponent's ready awesome foundations, and as it gained that 3 speed, you gained 2 life. It does 6 damage, it gains life, destroys their best option. If, I don't know, they had a speed hate or something to reset your whatever. Bonkers. Gill says, I'm going to obviously blow that up, and then Spirit Gun. I'm going to blow that up and then gain my life. Hit you super fast, hit you super hard. It goes to momentum. I play the Dark Tournament Looms. I play that action, I pull my Spirit Gun back out, I then play it again. If you happen to block it, I'm going to draw an extra card and replace the Spirit Gun that I had. In addition to that, on the life symbol, we get to play things like Cow Yuga, and I get to pick that back up. So if we have any sort of safe or weapon attack and I've got 6 or less foundations, doesn't happen very often with Gill, but when it does, we get to take and blow something up, gain my 2 life, return that card to my hand, blow something up, gain my 2 life. And it doesn't have to be Spirit Gun. It can be under the order symbol. It can be something like Hyper Bomb, enhance stun 2. All right. Well, if you don't block my Hyper Bomb, I'll draw a card. Enhance on Hyper Bomb. Or sorry, if you play a card as Gill, you get to then draw a card. There's so many rock and a hard places you get into. Playing the all symbol as Syndicate Slice. Syndicate Slice says, if this deck is blocked, draw a card. Well, in Gill, that means that I draw 2 cards. And so I'm going to constantly have cards in my hand and constantly keep throwing, or even worse, building out more cards. Gill, it's totally possible for Gill just to, like, play his whole hand of foundations, play 5 and pass. Oh, did you play cards because you're playing the game? I'll draw 2. Now I've got a solid defense. I have something to actually, like, help me. And you played some attacks with some low keywords? I'll gain my health back, lower your speed. Gill's a really interesting character. He plays defense real well, and he can play offense real well if my opponent interacts with him. And if they don't interact with him, I just kind of mollywop you. Yeah. Overcoming weaknesses. So the weaknesses of Gill are as follows, twofold. Number 1, if the attacks in Gill's decks do not have an inherent damage output, if you're playing 3 damage, 4 damage attacks, that my opponent maybe is playing something along the lines of Goro, or playing something along the lines of Zasamel, or Byakko, and they've got these 5-hander fight for Gill is actually difficult. Because 5-handers don't want to block. Gill's like the only one that wants to block. I'll minus your speed and block with this card in your hand. You play another one, I'll grab another block. But that's not how most 5-handers operate, especially not Goro. Goro's like the worst 5-hander in the world. He's a 4-hander. So he never wants to block anything. He always wants to constantly keep a his cards out on the field, which means that I'm truly a 5-hander, and speed in the Goro matchup does not necessarily matter. What if he's playing all throws? My gain 2 is not going to be enough. If he's got the throw keyword, he's probably got Fury, Punch, and Kick, and Slam, which brings us to our other weakness of Gill. Right now, asterisks, at time of recording, there's quite a few really powerful cards that have a bunch of keywords. Nutcracker has 5 keywords. Gill does nothing to Nutcracker. Nutcracker is hyper, super, mega effective versus Gill. And so you've got these cards with a ton of keywords that basically blank your character speed-wise on your opponent's turn. And so it's super easy to fall into a trap playing as Gill of not mainboarding any speed hate. My character's enough. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I've got 4 or 5 keywords. The other thing about Gill is he only works on face-up attacks, so multiples blow him out sometimes because a really fast multiple with a decent amount of damage, I just can't block it. Oh, luckily under the order symbol we get to play things like Prepare to Fight in order to stop that. But the way that you overcome weaknesses whenever my opponent has a bunch of keywords is you play under the all symbol. You play things like High Seas Adventure in order to flash their attack and get rid of it, and it doesn't have an ability anymore. Or under the order symbol. Under the order symbol, we play Easy Speed Hate, or we play Securing His Destiny in order to cancel a non-keyword ability. We play these things that mitigate speed or possibly mitigate the effects on cards so that I can, if you're trying to buff the attack, I'll get rid of it. If you're trying to buff the speed, I'll cancel it. And so we don't have to necessarily rely on our character's speed increase or decrease. My final thoughts on Gill. Gill is one of those deceptive characters. You look at Gill and you go, "Oh, he's not that great. He just draws 2 cards every turn." Ken draws 2 cards on every attack. Why would I not just play Ken? Well, Ken doesn't have the survivability that Gill does. Ken doesn't guarantee all of his attacks always hit always. If you want to make a solid Gill deck, just jam 4 of all of his attacks in. Throw in the Big Baby, throw in Cryonetic Assassination, throw in the one where he's stabbing Jetta. He's like, ugh, just get him. You throw in all those cards, all your attacks get 4 speed. They're like 4 base speed already. 8 mid for whatever is going to hit. You throw in a couple Confronting Jettas in there, 8 mid for whatever plus 4, gonna hit. And so Gill is in this really interesting back and forth where at any time he can just flip the switch, and once he's built up enough, he's going to snowball you eventually. If you block, I'll keep drawing. If every single one of my cards replaces itself, or every single one of my cards does its job. It reduces your life total. And so if you can overcome the keyword spaghetti, if you can overcome making sure that your deck is filled with fairly large attacks, Gill is the best damn deck in UniVersus, and you should totally try him out. Thank you for watching.